Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody, see that? The big red letters is Alex, and the white letters say the Ramble. That must be the Ramble with Alex Bennett. That's me. That's who I am, and we're here for another week of absolute frustration and trying to figure out why the hell we're doing this in the first place. Okay. I don't know, 4 nights a week, I'm beginning to wonder if, I think it was Albert who said to me the other day that he said, maybe you should just go to 1 day a week, then everybody will appreciate it more. And, he's probably right, but I don't know. Then what do I do the rest of that time? I just had a sip of my really nice coffee with my ginger and what else I have in here? Eggnog? Yeah. It's a no carbohydrate deal that I'm drinking here. So, anyway, let me see here. I got to clear out some of the people that are calling in right now because you'll see them show up at the top of the screen here, and then I got to get rid of them. But I do have one guy who I'm going to bring on right now, and of course he's somebody who we bring on every single week at this time, and that is, of course, our old friend. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Meyer. Hello, Phil.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Well, I got a COVID test today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What for?
Well, I had an employee that said last week he didn't feel good, and I said, well, don't come in.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Days later, last Thursday, or he comes in and he says, well, I don't feel good. And I said, then go home. So he was there 15 minutes. Meanwhile, it was enough to give everybody the crud. And so I told everybody at the office, I said, we all got to get tested. One guy got tested yesterday and he says, I'm not coming back until I get the results. Mm-hmm. And, I don't blame him. I'm out there infecting the public, until I get my results.
Well, you don't know if you're infecting anybody because chances are, even if you were exposed to it, you don't have it because you've had you've had the vaccine.
Yeah, but can I carry it? Can I get it? And I just don't get the.
This is a big question. I mean, let's be honest about all of this. People don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, for all they act like they know what's happening. I've had a cough in the last day.
Get a COVID test?
No, I don't need a COVID test. I haven't been out. I can't catch anything. What do you mean?
Well, hey, I was being so careful. I was wearing a mask and, just one guy, 15 minutes. All he did was come to the door of my office and said, I don't feel good. And I said, go home.
It doesn't mean that he doesn't have it. Okay. But it does mean that you probably can't get it.
Yeah.
All right. So, your other guys might show up testing positive, but you maybe won't at all.
I have one other employee that had both vaccines and in the store. Mm-hmm. And then I have two that weren't old enough to get the vaccines.
Right.
And, so they've both gone and tested. I've tested. The other guy who had two vaccines tested the week before because he went somewhere that he had to have shown he went on a couple days to Oregon and photographing stuff. And he had to have a COVID test before going.
Mm-hmm. And he came out okay.
Yeah.
Well, we live in this time of horrible fear, and what are you going to do? You're doing the right thing by asking your people to be tested. You probably didn't need to be tested, but, to show camaraderie, that's what you do. You know?
It's easy. They don't stick the thing up as far as they used to. Now this time they had me do it myself, only 1 inch up the nose. And I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "This nose, could probably take 2 inches."
Mine could take about a mile.
Yeah. So anyway, I did it to 4:30. It's 7:30 here, so it was only a few hours ago.
How fast are they going to get it back to you?
For the operation that I had last week, it took 2 days. So I had a COVID test last week.
Oh,
Now I've got a COVID test this week.
If you had one last week and it came out negative, right? You're probably okay. You know what hit me the other day? What hit me the other day, I was watching the news and the sports comes on, which I hardly ever read or watch, rather. And they're saying, and that the NCAA, for the Final Five or whatever's coming up, I don't know what they call that thing.
Is that basketball or baseball?
Basketball. They said 5 of the referees tested positive. And I thought for a second, I went, we all really welcome the days back where when a sports figure tested positive, it was for drugs.
That's true.
I mean,
steroids or something.
It's all changed. It's amazing, just amazing.
Well, talking about the vaccine, AstraZeneca, I guess, got pulled off the EU market. AstraZeneca, yeah. They got pulled off the EU market because of some.
There
issues.
were, among all the millions of AstraZeneca shots that were given out, 40 of them came up with blood clots, which is less than the public usually gets without a drug. So they don't know whether it's the drug or the people that got the.
Did you hear that Australia gave a ton of AstraZeneca vaccines to Papua New Guinea? It seems that the people in Papua New Guinea are 50% of those tested are positive for COVID.
Really?
Yeah. So now there's only 9 million people in Papua New Guinea.
Excuse me, I have to see something a second.
Sure.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had my soda with me. I reached over here and I couldn't find it, but here I go. See?
Anyway. Soda, not Soto. Okay.
Soda.
Soda. Well, anyway, so the people in Australia gave a whole bunch of doses to the Papua New Guinea. I thought these things, maybe they got a discount from Europe on those vaccines.
Yeah. Well, I just am glad that I'm through and I had the shots, and probably I'm going to be okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the other thing?
I knock on wood when I say that because you never know.
They gave me this, what to do after you've had a COVID test.
Yeah. If comes back, does it say there, if it comes back positive, bend over and kiss your ass goodbye?
Well, yeah, they told me to tuck my head between my legs and get under the desk. It's good for atomic fallout as well.
Yeah, it's just, we're so living in this time of fear. It's just amazing to me.
Well, Longfellow says if you do what it is that you fear, the fear will go away.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that with a thing like COVID? But let's see. Oh, you know what's happening because of COVID is people are grinding their teeth. Did you hear about this?
I grind my teeth anyway.
Well, what's happening is dentists are saying that 8 times more people are cracking their teeth because they're stressed, and they're grinding their teeth.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I started doing that about 8-9 months ago, and I got a bite guard. And
did you go to your dentist and get that?
Yeah. They take an impression.
Yeah. And how much did that cost you?
$800.
Yeah, it's $800 I'm not getting one.
Well,
okay?
I cracked the root in one of my teeth, and it was a tooth that I actually had a root canal in many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, well, we can pull that tooth and put in a, what is it that you have? The
Implant.
implant.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, I'm not, crazy about doing that. What's an implant? $5,000?
Actually, I was getting it for about $3,000.
Okay, $3,000.
But I got it at Implants or Us.
Yeah. Well,
And
I got
mine at Costco.
Yeah, they give you two. They're taped together.
Yeah.
But and anyway, I didn't realize that was caused from stress because I'd never ground my teeth before.
Well, I grind my teeth a bit, but I don't grind them. You see, what they worried about is not that you grind them when you're awake, that you grind them while you're asleep.
That's right.
And Marjorie has a bite plate, which I got to tell you, there's nothing sexier. When it's time to say goodnight and I go in for that goodnight kiss, to get nothing but rubber.
Yeah, there's mine.
Yeah, it's really sexy. It's really sexy.
I heard that on the news today, and I said that that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but $800 for a goddamn piece. Show them the piece of plastic again.
And it's starting to turn yellow. I'm going to have to buy another one.
Look at that, folks.
It was clear.
Huh?
It was clear. I clean it every day.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this yellow stuff.
$800 for that piece of garbage. It's plastic.
Well, they take an impression, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Hey, let's see what else was going on. The New York Times.
Mm-hmm. That's a newspaper.
Yeah,
it's our hometown newspaper here.
Yeah, and the Washington Post, which is down the street.
Yeah,
I guess they reported on not Cuomo, but on Trump and his phone call with a Georgia Georgia not DA.
Was that the call he made where he threatened the head of the election board or something?
Told him to find 11,000 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it wasn't true.
What do you mean? We heard it.
No. What happened was the New York Times apologized. Did you see?
What did they apologize for though? Because the phone call. The phone call actually existed. We heard the phone call.
There was a phone call, but the words that they said that he said weren't.
It may have been their way of reporting it in the paper may have been wrong, but we've also heard that tape on television in which he's telling the guy, find me 11 or 18,000 or how many votes he wanted to find.
I think they took it out of context. But
they
anyway,
they didn't take it out of context. I've heard the whole tape. It's like... No, he said those things.
Look around for that article.
Maybe he didn't say it the way in which
they
reported it, and that's what they're apologizing for.
Right, that's
their
correct.
Interpretation of it or something. But the tape is out there for everybody to hear, including you, and it's rather telling.
Yeah, well, there was 2 phone calls.
There were 2.
Yeah, it's the first phone call that they jumped on.
Was the other one him trying to sell them insurance or something?
No, but the other one was probably shouldn't have been. Some of the words that he used shouldn't have been used. But the first phone call was totally innocent, and they took it out of context, and it created a big deal.
Well,
with
let's see what happens. There's going to be a big, maybe a case charging him with a case down there. So. Yeah.
Well, that could be why they're coming up with all of this stuff.
Well, that's why somebody may have said whatever. But the fact is that the Georgia people down there, the attorney general is looking into charging him with a crime, actually.
Wow. Talking about
hey, listen, he's no longer president. You can give up on him. You have that ability.
He's the leader of 75 million people.
No, he isn't the leader of shit. Okay,
he's my leader.
He can barely have the wait staff deal with him at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, he doesn't have any authority left, even over Republicans. What is that?
That's a magnifying glass. I wanted to see what it did to the camera, but I thought it would do
made
something.
The camera look bigger.
Yeah. It was interesting. Hey, Governor Newsom, another governor in the news. The recall, they got enough signatures.
Did they really?
Yeah. So he said that anybody that would be against him is a racist. That was today. That was his quote.
Newsom, to begin with, I don't believe in recalls, as you know. I just think that it amounts to nothing but buyer's remorse. And the fact is that somebody should be allowed to be governor for the time that he's elected to be governor, unless he does something just so outrageously terrible that you impeach him. Okay.
Even Ray Davis didn't do anything so bad. He
No.
just bought
Right.
electricity at the wrong time.
So that ability to do a recall, how many people had to sign signatures to get a recall?
They used 2 million signatures because I think they needed 1.5 million. So they got 2 million.
But how many people live in California?
40 or 45. But
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't take a lot of people to
right.
do a recall, and I don't know. I find it upsetting.
I think that they should have at least half of the voting population. So if out of the 45 million, let's say 15 million can vote, then you should have 7.5 million to do a recall.
Yeah. Well, I just find recalls wrong.
Because you could always find 2 million people in a state of 45 million to
look
sign
at what happened
anything.
with the Gray Davis thing. I mean, then you had then anybody can run for governor.
Well,
And then
Gary
the person,
Coleman was
then the,
robbed.
Yeah, the person who gets the most votes
Right.
wins. It isn't like a majority, like over 50%. It's whoever gets the most votes wins. That's how Arnold Schwarzenegger won, because everybody knew who the hell he was.
Gary Coleman also ran against Arnold Schwarzenegger for that position.
He came
and
up short.
robbed.
He came up short.
He came up short. That's
Yeah.
right. Hey, the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's been 60 years since they found anything with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Fantastic discovery. And I guess what they found was written in Greek, and they translated it. And you know what it said?
Do you want a souvlaki? I don't know. What did it say? There's a joke here, I know.
Fake news.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned what's going on at the border.
Well, give it time. I pick a few. So they're showing the wall, and there's like 60 feet of wall, and then it's all open.
Yeah, I saw that. They're coming right through the opening.
Yeah, well, no, there's a town in Texas that's got a bar, and the bar is there's an opening right in front of where they are, and they've got tables and chairs and bathrooms, and people are just going there and they're sleeping and they're.
But I'm that desert boy. Am I thirsty? Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if they have to limit the number of migrants that are coming in to conform with COVID rules.
Well, I mean, it's a real problem. But I think what happened is that everybody saw that Trump was no longer president, so the coast is clear, and all of a sudden the surge happened. The surge would have happened at any point that we changed leadership. Okay,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the fault of Biden or whatever, but I think he's trying to handle it in what he considers a humane manner. And I think the way we solve that problem of all of that, and I think it's an important thing that we do, is that we try and kill some of the reasons why they're coming here. Like get these other countries to respond to their poverty, and also in our case, they come here because there's work here. Okay, and the reason there's work here is because people pick them up at on a street corner in San Rafael and take them home and have them mow their lawns. Yeah. There should be fines for that. We should do. They're scoffing on the system. They're going around the system. Yeah,
they're not paying workers' comp. They're not paying Social Security.
That's correct. But also, I mean, what it's doing is it's encouraging them to come here because there is work to be found. Albeit illegal work, but there's work to be found, and nobody ever gets charged with that. And they really should. I mean, and not just a tap on the wrist. If you make a couple $100, people will keep hiring. If you make a couple of $1,000, maybe they'll start thinking twice about it.
You remember several years ago, I don't remember which president was or senator or something like that was appointing people, or they were getting appointed to positions by in the presidencies, different presidencies, and a lot of them were all getting defeated because they had illegal nannies, and they were employing them illegally. And so some of them paid the taxes, but they ultimately had to recuse themselves from the being considered for the position.
Yeah. So what do you think's do you have any opinion on what's happening with Cuomo here in this great state of New York?
Well, I heard that the Harlem Globetrotters came out and said that he accosted them. And,
he blew me.
Yeah,
he blew me. And I felt very uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, it's
when is this crap gonna stop?
Well, it's continuing. It's called wokeness, and what's happening is
I hate the term woke because the word is awake. Okay. It's not woke.
Well, I'm just giving you the term they use.
I know, but I mean, I'm so tired of it. Oh, it's woke this and woke that. And I'm going, oh, what do you want? You really want to use the kids' jargon? You want to show you're really hip by using woke?
Yes. Yes.
I'm also tired of canceled culture.
Yeah. They are doing that. But with this awoke or woke, what's happening is people sit around and they look for things to be outraged about.
Yeah.
I heard the other day somebody was upset over their state being maligned. And so the next day, I guess they listened to the show. The guy's state was maligned. He comes back and says, well, I'm upset about this, that, and this. Instead of letting it roll off your back and, realizing that,
find something better to do with your time, work on ending poverty, do something helpful, not just going, I'm like,
I'm out.
Well, here's what gets me. Okay. That slimy scumbag Schumer and that slimy cunt, I'll call her that, Gillibrand, and the double cunt, Ocasio-Cortez.
But Gillibrand is practiced at getting people to resign.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I know. But, come on. What is going through their mind? Haven't they ever heard of due process? That all these people who have accused him, okay, and the main reason they're asking for his resignation is not because of the nursing scandal. It's because of the Me Too stuff. Okay,
right.
Haven't they ever heard? And excuse me, I got to get that arrow out of there. Haven't they ever heard of due process, and that people, when they make statements, should swear under oath that they're true? Well, and without swearing under oath, it's just simply an allegation.
I'll tell you why. They're saying that Cuomo is expendable. They needed him to be a tough guy against Trump and to stand up to Trump and to call him names and do whatever he did. Now that Trump is gone,
they've got nobody to beat up on.
Well, yeah, but they don't need Cuomo. He's expendable to the Democrats.
Yeah.
So they're throwing him under the bus because he is kind of arrogant and he is a
look.
rough.
Look, he is known as being a bully. He's known as being an asshole. He's known for a lot of things, but being an asshole and being a bully doesn't mean that you get thrown out of office. And all these allegations from these women, which keep piling up, are just simply allegations. They are allegations without vetting. Nobody has taken an oath and said, "I swear to tell the truth." Right?
I think they will.
They will. They will have to eventually, but they don't have to now. And when it comes time for them to testify, if they know they're lying, they won't testify. Okay.
Yeah, even Nadler is coming out against Cuomo.
Yeah, well, I mean, but they're coming out against Cuomo, and there has been no evidence presented. There have been no oaths taken. There hasn't even been a lie detector, which you can't always
So
depend on.
where were you on these? Who's the guy that went for the Supreme Court justice with the one who was accused of raping Blasey Ford?
Oh well, to begin with, he was up for he was up for a very important job with the government, the Supreme Court. Secondly, she was under oath. Secondly, he was under oath. I mean, all the I's were T's were crossed, I's were forget it. Anyway, the I's were dotted, and in that case, it was just. I felt that they should bring in anything that would question his morality and his ability to do his job. Okay,
but people didn't want due process for him; they wanted his head.
There wasn't due process available there because he wasn't being charged with any crime. And in this case, if they're going to impeach, I'm sorry, but
they can't impeach Cuomo. There's no.
Yes, they can.
No, I don't think
that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're asking
impeach.
For.
They can't recall. They can't recall.
They can't
but
recall.
They can
okay, yeah. But they can impeach, and then they can throw him out of office. If the vote comes, it's the same kind of impeachment we have, federally. But all I'm saying is that I'm very disappointed that Schumer doesn't believe in our Constitution and in due process, and neither does Kirsten Gillibrand, but we knew that after Al Franken, and I expect better out of Ocasio-Cortez, okay? Because I always felt that whatever you think of her, she seems like she believes in the democratic process. But apparently, they're all ganging up on him because they see it as being politically expedient. And quite frankly, I don't think they're playing it right because, quite frankly, here in New York, they've taken polls and even the Democrats, everybody wants him to stay in office. So I think they're barking up the wrong tree.
I got a feeling a majority of Californians want Newsom to stay. This is going to be an interesting couple months.
Newsom, Newsom has screwed up a great deal. And I don't feel in quite the same. Look, let me just say this. We'll go an extra 5 minutes over and our panel can wait, okay? I just believe that, yes, these women should be heard. They should be heard as testimony, swearing on a Bible or whatever, and saying that you are attesting that what you're saying is the truth, not just allegations, all right? And that's, and that beyond that, we have to just say, hey, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, too, that they're lying.
Yeah.
Yes, women should be heard, but they shouldn't necessarily be, what's the word I'm looking for? Believed out of hand.
Yeah.
That anything they say is the truth, because then every guy in this world has got a target on his back. And in the case of this governor, you've got a governor who's he's a single guy. He's always. When I was a single guy, I was always on the make. I didn't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable or anything like that, and I wouldn't push it if I felt that it wouldn't be reciprocated. But nevertheless, he's a single guy, and he's going to come on to women. And the come on may be something as simple as doing some simple chit chat to feel her out to see if she's interested. But that can get you nailed these days.
Sure, especially if it's an employee. Or during a
some of these women weren't even employees.
Some of them were.
One of them was an iPhone repair person. No, I'm kidding. But it seems like all these guys use the excuse, "Can you come up and fix my iPhone?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they wanted to see my lithographs.
Yeah, they want to see your lithograph. Hey, listen, we've run over here. But I like talking to you.
Thanks.
You're a piece of shit, but I like you.
Hey.
So I'll see you next week, unless your COVID test comes up bad, and
Oh, if it does, it won't spread over the internet.
Well, you've had the shots, and nobody who's ever gotten the shots has gotten a serious case.
Yeah.
of
Well,
COVID.
I'm not thinking about myself. I just don't want to spread it.
Right.
to-
And
to
also, well, they say now that they think these shots also make you unspreadable. Okay, but who knows?
Butter?
You're like butter. I was going to say that. That was my next joke, but you beat me to it.
No
Anyway,
extra
ladies and
thought.
gentlemen, the wonderfulness that is Phil Meyer. Thanks, Phil.
Take care. Have a good show.
Bye-bye, Phil. See you later. Okay, there he goes. All right. Let me see here. I've got to do a few little things here to fix things up so that and when I'm through here, I don't have Phil Meyer's name up on the screen anymore. And we should probably go to our citizen panel immediately because they've all been waiting with bated breath. And here they come. And let me just bring them all on here. Let's see here. Who have we got? We've got we've got Kilroy. Oh, there. It's Trucker Steve. Let's see a little more of your head. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, and here's the family. Brian Neary's there. Oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? Adrian.
Adrian, say hi to everybody.
Adrian is such a ham, but then she pretends like she's really shy. Yeah.
Alex wants to say hi. Say hi.
Hey, Adrian.
Oh, you know we love you,
Hi,
Adrian.
Oh my God, she's so huge. Say hi.
Hi. Just say hi. 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 Hi.
Say goodbye. Look at silly face. Look at it.
I knew that would get her.
Okay. On that note, good night.
Yeah. Good night. Nice to see the old lady. I don't know if you would call her the old lady. She's a pretty young lady. Oh, yes. See.
Not an old lady.
She's only like a year younger.
Yeah. Now you can't get her out of there, right?
20 years younger than you.
Oh, I said 20. Hey.
Huh? What'd she say?
She said, I'm very handsome.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, I'm jealous. You got a great-looking wife and great-looking kid. I mean, what else can you want?
I'll sell you the boy cheap.
They say he's a boy cheap. Oh, okay. Is the boy? How old's your boy now?
15. He just turned 15.
Oh, that's
That's a
that-
bad
The girl
age.
just turned 13.
that's a terrible age.
Nah.
Yeah.
I
Hello.
want him now.
Hello, Robert. Good to have you back again.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, when does the rebuttal for Phil's version of the news begin?
Anytime. But
Yeah.
first, let me say hello to Charlie and let me say hello to Jeff. And of course, Trucker Steve is here as well.
Hello there, buddy.
So what do you want to rebut?
Well, it never ceases to amaze me that the news that Phil hears regards two Democratic governors. It doesn't cover, let's make a list here. It doesn't cover Ron Johnson saying that he wasn't afraid of the people on January 6th, but he was afraid of the BLM people. It doesn't cover Tucker Carlson screaming that Biden is telling him who he can spend 4th of July with and thereby trampling on his rights.
Wait a minute. How did Tucker Carlson come
Tucker?
to that conclusion?
Tucker Carlson.
How did Tucker Carlson come to that assumption?
Well, he is blasting that Biden is trampling on his rights by telling him that he has to get together with certain people on the 4th of July. I didn't say it, so I'm not going to defend it.
Well,
Phil also didn't mention that 25 states are actively trying to pass voter suppression laws.
mhm.
And by the way, before he defends himself and says, well, that's to keep down fraudulent voters, what exactly does shortening the hours on election day do to cut down on fraudulent voters? Somebody's
Well-
got to explain that to me.
This whole thing with the voter suppression laws they're trying to pass is just amazing. I mean, they admit that if they don't make these laws happen, which are purely suppressive, then the Republicans will never win again. Well, maybe
They said as much.
maybe the Republicans won't ever win again because they don't have the majority in this country.
They've said as much.
You know, And
Yeah.
what do you want? Do you want to upset that balance? And they've got a majority. We've got a majority, they've got a minority, and they figured, why don't they balance it out more by coming up with good ideas that some Democrats will vote for? Oh, excuse me.
Who is
Also,
Damien
I pushed
also
the
in
button
Phil's
To begin
version,
Yeah,
also in Phil's version of the news, he didn't hear and talk about Representative, I believe her last name is Sanchez, a Republican, who, while voting against the COVID relief bill, touted the fact in her home district that it was a bipartisan relief bill. I love it.
Well,
You
there
can't
were some
make shit
Republicans who
this
went
up.
back to their local constituency and kind of acted like they voted for it.
Oh,
but they didn't.
sure. Yeah, the guy in Mississippi too.
Yep.
Wow.
And by the way, up on my screen here ahead of me is MSNBC, and breaking news is that U.S. Intel has announced that Russia tried to influence the 2020 election.
Well, that's been around for the last day or so, that story. And yeah, they made a very big attempt. Apparently, they didn't do a good enough job of it. And apparently, we were there to kind of stonewall that from happening. But no, they were out to get Trump reelected,
But we're focused on Gavin Newsom going to a restaurant. We're focused on Cuomo and whether or not he should resign. And boy, have we deflected from the fact that Republicans don't say a peep about what took place at the Capitol building on January 6th.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? Okay, first of all, let's go back to the Cuomo thing. The Democrats are very fond of eating their own, aren't they? I mean, the Republicans won't eat their own. But the Democrats certainly do. I mean, I think it's a little early for these people to say to Cuomo, you've got to resign. There's no testimony. There's no sworn testimony from any of these women to put that thing in a context that makes it very serious. They're simply allegations. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, you mentioned Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson, right after the attack on January the 6th, came out and made a statement that he thought those were Antifa demonstrators faking like they were supporters. So if he really believed that, he should have been afraid on January 6th too.
Didn't he get the memo that there is no Antifa? That basically Antifa is such
but what I'm saying is he's contradicted himself.
His latest
he said he
quote
wasn't afraid
is
on January 6th.
his latest quote to a radio show is, I wasn't afraid of the people at the Capitol because they were people who loved America. I was far more afraid of the people who demonstrated for Black Lives Matter. Let's see. What's the difference between these people and those people? I can come up with one difference.
Well, one difference is nobody anywhere in the Black Lives Matter demonstrations wore a set of horns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just I think, well, to a white racist, I suppose a Black Lives Matter demonstration is threatening.
Probably.
Very.
I understand his fear because somebody should get him. I mean, it's terrible, and it's terrible what's happening in Charlie's state. I mean, God damn it! I mean, are people running around without masks now, Charlie?
Yeah, unless you go in a store or a restaurant.
There's spring break too right now, and they're showing people, all the kids on the beaches and everything.
Sure.
They don't think they're going to get it. So, yeah.
If they get it, they're not going to get it badly. Probably. That is a known fact. But God damn it, it's just amazing to me what's been going on in that state and a couple of other states with we're going to just whatever progress we've made, goodbye. Yes, Jeff.
I heard today that they're trying to come up with a government approach
Mm-hmm.
for all states,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. approach, that everybody would have to wear a mask at working at their office. Not bad. It's not a bad idea.
We have to now. Well, we've had to for a while, unless you're in an office or you're in a
Of
conference room
course.
by yourself. But
Really?
yeah, but 80% of our people are in clean rooms, so they're wearing masks anyway. And then when they
That's
come
right.
out, they're just wearing it too. But yeah, but we've had that going on for a while.
What's happening to Marjorie is at her office, she's going in 2 days a week now. Because she likes, oddly enough, she likes being in the office because all the stuff is there, all the files are there. She can go to them and whatever. But she wants to go 2 days a week. But the guy who runs the office, or at least is her boss ostensibly, she's in the front. She's not a receptionist really because they don't have enough traffic coming in and out to have a receptionist, okay? But she's in the front. So in case somebody does come in or somebody comes with packages, because she's the office manager, she can handle that. Well, this guy who runs her office doesn't want her to be at the front anymore. Wants her to have her own office in the back where she can be separated from everybody else. That's how they're trying to figure out how to handle the situation, But it's, who knows? But what's happening in Texas is just insane. And now I see these pictures of spring break. I mean, we shouldn't allow spring break this year. Just keep teaching them. Say you'll get out early or something like that, Because we're so close to that finish line. Here's the thing I wanted to bring up to Phil, and I forgot completely because my mind, as an old man, I don't remember things anymore, and I should jot them down, but I don't jot them down. All right.
Let Robert answer in Phil's.
We should have a debate.
Go ahead. You ask Phil, and
We
Robert
should have a debate.
Okay. So you're Phil. So I just read or saw on TV that 45% of Republicans say they don't want to get the COVID shot.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
They should
By the
all
way,
buy-
no matter any amount of voter suppression they want to set up is not going to be better than all their people dying, but then they'll never win again. But Phil, what do you think of that?
I don't know. I only
Wait a
listen
minute,
to
Phil.
what Fox
Be
tells
fair to
me.
him. Phil doesn't go duh.
I only listen to what Fox tells me.
Okay.
No, Phil would
Good
make
check.
a joke. He would
40,
change
40,
the subject.
45% of Republicans say they are not going to take the shot. Are they out of their minds?
But their leader was behind the scenes and grabbed one of the first ones off the shelf.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
he was saying,
Oh, yeah.
"Stab me now," and also his whole crew at the White House were all
Yeah,
lining
all
up
of
to
them.
get the shots. But here's the thing: people are saying what Trump should do is come out and say, "Hey, I got the shot. You should get the shot."
He ain't
That he'd
doing
be
that.
saving a lot of lives by doing it. You think he's going to do that?
Dude.
Nope.
But he could have used the whole "let's get the economy back. This is our, this is the light at the end of the tunnel." He could have jump started everything.
Yeah, go out and get the shot because I invented it.
Oh yeah, the Trump shot.
The
That's
Trump
right.
shot.
The Trump
Yeah.
vaccine.
Yeah. I'm amazed at what goes on these days. So, Robert, do you have another question for our group here?
Sure. There's another way to do this. It's up to you. We could do a whole bunch and just have a raise of hands real quick. And then if you have a tremendous story, you could stop the proceedings. How about that?
Yeah, that's good. But let's
All
do
right.
this because nobody's here that seems to mind a little
All right.
little simplicity.
Have you ever punched someone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy, you are just a ragamuffin. Were you?
I was a kid.
Were you a kid at the time?
Yeah. When I was a kid.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Oh, Jeff, it's for you. It's your parole officer.
No, not again. Don't tell them where I live.
Okay, I won't.
But you punched somebody, Jeff? You?
Well, yeah, we were kids. We punched
Sure.
everybody.
Well, you punched everybody. I never punched anybody in school.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Have
did.
you ever ridden,
I think I had a bully once that was after me, if I remember correctly,
Ah.
when I was in just really early grade school, like first, second grade. And my father, who was a very nonviolent guy, said, what you should do the next time he bullies you is just hit him.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I hit him, and he never
Good for
bullied
you.
me again.
Good for
Right.
you.
But
I think that my father
deal
told
with
me
me.
the same story.
yeah, I got into a fight with my best friend, Steve Gruberg. For some reason, I just went nuts and crazy, and I started literally getting into a physical fight with him. I don't know why. It was a time in my life where I was just on edge. Everything was wrong, and I guess I just took it out on him. We got into an argument. One thing led to another, and I started slugging. But that was the only time I remember ever. Oh, one other time I got into a fight. Almost, not quite, just about. There was this comedian, this comedy writer, worked for the National Lampoon. And I saw him in a bar, and he said something nasty to me because I didn't like this guy anyway. And we had had some words in the past, and he was in this bar, and he said something to really get me up in a storm, and I started getting into a fight with him. You know who that guy was? You ever hear of Tony Hendra?
He's a writer, really?
Yeah, writer for Saturday Night Live and the National Lampoon.
Didn't he write a bunch
And he
of
was
books?
in Spinal Tap. He played the manager in Spinal Tap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I got in, I think, a bar fight with him. And I don't normally hang out in bars, and I don't normally fight. So that is all a contradiction in terms for me. Anybody else here ever punch somebody?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I punched a guy in the back one time, and it was our landlord's son. So
Well,
we all
that's
went
not-
to school together. Yeah, I don't know. On the bus, he was just bugging me really, really bad. So we got off the bus. I hit him in the back, and I ran.
Have you ever punched anybody in later life? I mean, as an adult?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. Okay. Well, I'll get to you in a second, Robert, because it's got to be a great story. Otherwise,
Tried to break up stuff. After 30, I was a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah. How about you, Charlie? Never?
Like I said, when I was a kid, I was 12 years old. I got into a fight with the guy who had been bullying me for years.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I did enough damage to him that he left me alone, even though he obviously wanted to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Larkin?
Well, working at rock concerts all my life, I've, doing security and ushering, that kind of thing. I've been in a few, pretty short little fisticuffs for no reason.
But these were professional scuffles.
Well,
These weren't initiated by you.
No.
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
somebody being drunk and being stupid, and,
Okay. How about you, trucker Steve? You're a trucker. You should have gotten into a fight.
Maybe when I was a kid. Not in this.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here comes Robert.
Okay.
I got another one. Have you
No,
ever
wait a
ridden-
minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, you
What
want to
about
know
you?
when I punched somebody?
Yes. Don't
It
weasel
was
out
a
of this.
softball game, and it was a collision at the plate. The other team came out, we came out, and there was a scuffle. And I threw a couple of
And
punches.
how old were you when this happened?
Oh, I was in my late 20s, I'll bet.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
But I never started a fight in my life, not even as a kid, not once. That was just something I didn't do.
Really?
But I wouldn't back down from one.
Okay. Okay.
Have you ever ridden in an ambulance? No kidding. Some people never.
No,
Wow.
I've always been driven to the hospital by somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Chauffeur?
Oh, my wife or a co-worker. One time I got hurt at the work, and a co-worker drove me to the hospital.
Wow.
Really? Well, Marjorie, a couple of years ago, what did she have? What was wrong with her? Something happened with her, and she couldn't walk.
Her
And
leg.
huh?
Yeah.
It was a leg.
Yeah,
I can't.
didn't she someone bumped into her and she
Yeah.
tripped,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah. This was she was
Oh,
walking
yeah.
down the street on Madison Avenue,
Yeah,
and
somebody
a
she didn't even know.
tourist bumped into her. She fell to her
Yeah.
knees and literally broke her kneecap.
Broke.
I remember that. Yeah.
But we didn't know it was broken yet. And the next morning she wakes up and she just can't even walk. And she's, what are we going to do? And I said, we got to get you to the hospital. She says, I don't know if I can get into a cab, you know. So we called an ambulance. So I got to ride in the ambulance. But because it was just simply a bad leg, they didn't turn on the siren, which really bummed me out.
No fun.
You know, for all the times that sirens have gone past this apartment house, I just wanted my case to, you know.
So how much did it cost? $8,000?
I don't know. The insurance company picked it up.
Oh.
You know. But no, I think it was $400, $500, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here an ambulance is simply a very expensive Uber. You know, I mean, it's not. It's very common here in New York, and they are all fighting with each other to get the work. They're all clamoring on top of each other.
What was that? There's a Bill Cosby movie, right, with the ambulance. Remember their ambulance chasers?
I think Raquel Welch was in it or something.
Yeah.
Mother Jugs and Speed.
There we go.
Mother
Very
Jugs and
good.
Speed.
Yeah.
A movie whose title couldn't even be put out on television today, right? Because the Me Too movement would be all over it, right?
But then wasn't Raquel Welch in that movie?
Yeah, I said Raquel Welch was in it. Yeah.
That was the Jugs.
Yeah, and it was Bill Cosby, and who was the other guy? It was Sidney Poitier, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So,
Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
oh, yeah.
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 I got carjacked one time.
No.
Broad daylight.
Over in the south side of Chicago.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's take it one at a time. You got carjacked?
Yeah, I was actually, I used to be a process server, and I was serving papers in East Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Some guy, I came back to the car, and two guys had, you know, with Raider jackets on and hoods, and they said, "Give us the keys." And I said, "Here you go."
Don't ever argue with them. Here, take it.
Said, "Have fun,"
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
What year was that?
Right.
Around what year?
Back in the '90s, early
Yeah,
'90s. You know.
Yeah. East Palo Alto's changed a lot now, but yeah, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough area.
Yeah, I now it's got like a fancy hotels and crap there, huh?
IKEA, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Charlie, you say you were at gunpoint. What were the circumstances for you?
Teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I mean,
Well, I was walking home from work. I shined shoes after school, and I was walking home, and these group of 4 kids came up to me. And one of the guys had a gun. I gave him everything.
Wow. The
wow,
money.
Wow.
that's hardcore. Anybody else have a gun pointed at them? Robert.
So my story's a little bit unusual. It was a day off work back in 1977, Columbus Day. I'll never forget. I was off work and went to the local neighborhood bank and was standing on line to get to a teller when suddenly 3 cops come bursting into the bank, and I thought nothing of it until I felt an object on the back of my head. They told me, put my hands behind my back slowly. They forced me to lay on the ground face first.
Wow.
Long story short,
This is hardcore.
they thought that I was a criminal that they were looking for. They showed me the picture inside their caps, and it was a spitting image of me.
Really?
And what saved my sorry ass was that the bank manager happened to live in the same high-rise apartment building that I did at the time. And he vouched for me and said, you know, I know this guy. This guy's never committed a crime. And he kind of got the cops to realize that they might have the wrong dude. But it was scary.
Of course it's scary.
Yeah.
My incident you've all heard about on this show. When I was a kid, a friend of mine was kind of drunk, and I went over to his house, and he said, look what I got, and he had a gun. And then he pointed it at me and stuck it in my face for about an hour.
Jeez.
Nice.
And he's drunk. He's drunk. Now, I know he isn't going to kill me because he's my friend, right? My friend's not going to kill me, but he's drunk. And that was the thing that scared me because, you know, I mean, he's drunk and he's sticking a gun in my face. What's to say he doesn't accidentally pull the trigger.
Yeah. How familiar was he with guns? I mean, especially if somebody's not familiar with guns, that's even worse because they could pull the trigger by accident.
I don't know. I can't remember if he was obviously he was familiar enough with guns that he had one. That he had stolen or something like that. I can't remember how he got it, but he held it right in my face for an hour, and since then I've been very anti-gun. I probably wouldn't be as anti-gun today as I am because I went through that very traumatic situation, and I knew he didn't mean it, but people can kill you and not mean it, Oh, hey, here comes Alan. I knew somebody was missing tonight.
He heard gun.
He heard gun. Yes, he heard the word gun, and that was it. Hello, Alan. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm going to check my volume. How's my volume?
Fine. You
Too high.
You were
lower.
You were a cop, so you probably can answer this question. Have you ever had a gun? What was it pointed at you?
Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Yes. Yes. See the hat I'm wearing for you all last week, Robert, and I'm wearing it again tonight.
I noticed it. I how wonderful.
You said something in the program that I was late to one night, and you said you were running around the house with a New York T-shirt on or something, and you thought of me and you took it off and changed shirts before you got on the show.
I didn't want to insult you, but I love the hat.
Thank you. Your sign's backwards. So humor. So anyhow, yeah, it wouldn't have bothered me that you came on with a New York shirt. I love New York.
Want to sing with me?
No.
Okay.
I think YouTube would kick us off.
Oh yeah, probably. Okay.
Sorry, I had running late. I'm a bad boy.
Yeah, that's okay.
The question you wanted to know was, have I ever somebody pointed a gun at me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In the line of duty, I assume.
Yes, you assume correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. And were you pointing a gun back at him?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it was kind of double duty, that whole thing.
Were shots exchanged eventually?
In two of the incidences, actually.
Really?
That was enough for me.
It was enough for me too.
Retire.
Yeah.
Well, so it's amazing that you were such an advocate of guns, considering what they can do and the kind of damage they can inflict.
Yeah. The advocate that I am is about safe, lawful practice, And yeah, I've seen people killed with
but
guns.
what good? Tell me, what good is a gun unless you are going to rob a bank?
Well, you get target practice.
Well, no, but that's an affectation, really. Right. If you think about it, that's not what a gun was created for.
John, if you're pouring, I got a glass here.
What?
Thanks, pal.
What happens is there's a whole question of, now I forgot where I was going with this. Why a gun? Besides, in the old days when you lived in the woods and you needed a gun to protect yourself from the varmints. Okay, that was a good reason to have a gun. And you killed for food, right?
But you could do that with a bow and arrow or
a knife, you could, but this was a more efficient way of doing it, and I'm not arguing that it wasn't a fair game, so to speak. Excuse the pun. So I see a reason why in the earlier days of this country it was needed. It's also needed in some parts of our country for people who live in rural areas. Yeah. Because there are bears, there are animals which are dangerous, and you need a gun for that. Okay? So I understand that. Okay? But I don't understand any other reason for it. I don't see that necessarily target shooting is something we invented. After we thought about we can kill things with this, then we thought we can shoot targets with it,
So what you're saying is if somebody's breaking into your house, you'd like an unarmed security guard to come up and check on you.
No, come on.
What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds of somebody going into breaking in? Can we go back to this argument again?
Yeah.
What are the
You see, the
odds?
odds
You
of a
always
home
say-
invasion
Alex's
property-
lifetime.
In my whole life, I have never had any, and I live in Harlem, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you're white and you live in Harlem.
In the building, they made New Jack City in, okay?
Yeah.
And I have never, ever had anybody break into my apartment, either while I was here or when I wasn't here.
Well, put the address online here. Somebody will.
I always had this mental movie in my head. So a guy breaks in my house.
Yeah.
My wife and I are asleep.
Yeah.
They wake me up, and I say to the guy, "Hold on a second. I've got a gun in the safe. Just give me a minute so I can put in the combination
Yeah.
and get the gun so we can be." I mean, I don't understand. Am I supposed to sleep with it under my pillow?
No, but how about if you sleep with it somewhere? If it's just you and your wife and you don't have kids around, let's use that example since that's what you used. You sleep with it somewhere in a drawer, somewhere concealed that you can get to it. You know, you don't want to be opening a safe if you don't have to.
All I'm saying is, you know, it's one thing to have the gun, it's another to be able to shoot it.
Well,
Okay.
in this state, you better really.
I would rather, you know, and no one fears death more than I do, but I would rather die than kill somebody else to save me.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe now to save my family, to save my wife, that's a different story. Okay. But I would not want to live with the idea that I had killed somebody. Okay. Also, I would shoot for the legs. I would shoot for any non-lethal area that I possibly could. I would not shoot for body mass like most people say you should.
And if they had a gun and you shot them in the leg, chances are they're going to fire and shoot you in the chest or something like that.
All right, then I'll shoot them in the arm.
Speaking of guns, did you hear about the guy in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's
What
it?
happened? Three shot, 3 places or something like that?
Yeah, 3 different places, all Asian massage bar.
Anybody know the motive? I haven't heard.
Wait a minute. What happened?
What
Some
are you
guy.
talking about? What happened?
Yeah, what
Shut
happened?
up,
There was a shooting.
Asian
Shootings in Atlanta.
massage parlors.
Well, somebody, just one person, tell us what happened.
Okay. This guy in Atlanta went to 3 different Asian massage parlors and he shot 3 people in each one, or 3 in 2 of them and 2 in one of them. So 8 people were killed. All Asian massage parlors.
Were
All
these happy ending massage parlors?
Well.
No, I'm saying there are legitimate massage parlors. You know,
Yeah, well,
hey, my back is killing me. Okay, here we'll need it. Now they're the other kind, which has a happy ending.
They showed the first ones, I guess, that they hit. The other one was like 2 hours away, but they showed, and there was like one where they were standing in the parking lot. There was one across the street and one next to that one, and they all had like neon lights. So
Well,
sure,
usually a
part of
normal,
town.
a legitimate massage parlor
The
doesn't
red
have
light
neon
district.
lights.
I don't know.
yeah.
No, not flashing ones too, you know.
It sounds like
It was the
Dawn
part.
didn't
It was the
want it.
part that used to appall me. Whenever there's a school shooting, and Alan, I'm not saying it's you, because I have a feeling you're actually more conservative about guns and the use of them than most. But you will admit that there were gun advocates who came out and said that teachers should be armed. Now, I was an ex-teacher. I'm an ex-teacher. And I always think to myself, so in other words, I've got a class of 8th graders and I have to keep a loaded weapon someplace, which already it boggles the mind. But then let's say there is an incident. Okay, so now I tell my kids to get under their desks or hide in the clothing room, and I take out my weapon and somebody comes through the door. I don't know if it's a kid. I don't know if it's the assailant. I don't know if it's somebody from a SWAT team.
Right.
Mind you, supposing it is law enforcement and I figure it out without shooting my weapon. Now I'm in a position where I'm standing there with a fucking gun and I
Yeah.
have to explain to them, no, you don't get it. It's not me.
Right. So
know,
I'm of the opinion the teachers ought to not have guns at school.
Mercy.
I believe that they ought to have a school resource officer, which they do in a lot of places, one cop in one school, and if he needs help, he can get on the radio and call for help. You know?
Mercy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
you
don't-
know
I
where
definitely-
that falls apart at Parkland, the school down in Florida.
Well,
They
you know,
had a guard,
yeah,
an armed guard,
oh, a
took
deputy sheriff,
and
He ran away.
and he
Ran
went
away.
running away. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that theory is nice in practice. Okay,
It works in reality though. I mean, most school resource officers never draw their weapon, and a lot of them will arrest very few students. It's the worst thing they can do is have to arrest a student. They're there for other reasons. I mean, you know, obviously for protection of the school
Yeah.
in part, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Schools have been hit way too often in the past 10 years of gun violence.
yeah. Well, you got to have a guy.
And
you got to have a
that's
guy
a-
at the school with a gun to protect it against
if you have an
evildoers and Woody Allen.
Sure, if you have an
So,
active shooter on the school, I would like to think that my students, my kid was partly protected. Most cops would not run and flee. They would go in and call in the cavalry, and they would go and try and engage the shooter or shooters by killing them. Or
By the
taking
way,
them
not
out.
to change the subject, but it's my show and I can change the subject. Did anybody watch the last episode of that Woody Allen piece of crap on HBO?
I did.
Shouldn't they be
Oh, I
ashamed?
will.
I did.
Shouldn't they be ashamed of themselves?
You know, I gotta admit, Alex, I'm not with you anymore. The first two episodes, I was on Woody's side, but I gotta tell you that last episode, man.
How much of Woody's side of the story did you hear there?
None, but he could have.
Well, no, wait a minute. No, he couldn't have. They didn't ask him to, except for 2 weeks before the documentary was finished. It's like they didn't want to get an answer from him. And
Charlie, put your sign up.
what is this? Mama told me not to come. Okay. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I believe the girl. I do believe her.
oh,
but,
I believe she believes it.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay, I believe she believes it, but I don't believe that it happened. I believe if you go back to that 1992 interview with Woody, you'll hear his side of the story, and it's very plausible. You know, he was in the middle of a big divorce at the time, and he said, "Why would I go to the house in the middle of a divorce and rape my daughter?" You know, that's just doesn't make any sense. There is an answer from Woody. He was only asked to reply to it 2 weeks before they were finishing up the documentary. And you know something? What I say is, if you couldn't get Woody to talk to you, then you don't run the documentary, because you don't have a full documentary. You don't have the he said, she said. Am I right, Robert? You seem to agree with me on that.
I have no opinion. None.
Oh, okay. Then what were you going?
That was a quick answer.
Oh,
The teacher called on you, Robert.
Playing cards. Yeah.
huh?
The teacher called on you.
Well, he was going. I see. That was what
He
you.
was nodding to what Brian was putting up.
Brian and I were.
Do we want one more question, or shall we save the questions for later?
So,
Get off the Woody. Get a question, please.
Have you ever eaten an entire pizza?
Oh, hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have, but I don't like pizza. You, Tucker, Steve, you've eaten a whole pizza? It must get really lonely there in the truck.
That's why he
One
called.
day
Huh?
One day I was really hungry, and then I ended up throwing up because it was too much.
Okay, because I don't want anybody here raising their hand that they ate a whole pizza because they ate one of those little ones you get out of the freezer at the store.
18-inch
No.
We're talking about a regular size, massive pizza.
Right.
And the question is, though, Did you eat the pieces, but did you eat the end of the crust?
Oh, I
Oh,
love the
oh,
crust.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I
me
ate
too.
the whole pizza.
It's in the
You ate the
big
whole
18
pizza.
inch.
I don't
the
think
big
I don't think I could do that today. I just don't
Well,
think
you
I
don't
could.
like the
do it
crust
today.
either.
Huh?
You don't like the crust either.
Well, I don't like pizza.
Okay.
Okay, am I unusual? I just don't like
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, especially for New Yorker. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, food of the god.
You know the Yogi Berra story? Yogi Berra bought a pizza, and the guy asked him, "Do you want to have it cut in 4 slices or 8?" And Yogi said, 4. I could never eat 8.
Ah, 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 ah.
That's Yogi. I had lunch with I had lunch with Yogi Berra once.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. I was we had Yoo-Hoo as a sponsor, and they held a
Yes.
Yoo-Hoo lunch, and he was the spokesperson for Yoo-Hoo,
Yeah.
and so I was seated right next to him, and didn't understand.
Did you know what football team he played for when you sat next to him?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I know he played baseball, okay?
Okay. Did you ask how many goals he scored in a
Yeah,
year?
right.
Because I know a lot about baseball. I don't follow baseball, but I know a lot about baseball. Yeah, you know. Here's something I can do. This is strange, and I don't know if I can do it now. Now I'll probably prove myself
I'm
wrong.
running out of signs.
But if you name a football team, I can tell you what city they play in.
Ooh.
oh,
And I don't know. I don't follow football.
Buccaneers.
Huh?
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay,
Ooh.
The Raiders.
Oakland.
The
Nope.
football team.
Oh, now
Vegas.
they're. Oh, excuse me. They changed. Right, they're now down somewhere in Arizona, aren't they?
Las
football
Vegas.
team.
Las
Vegas.
Las Vegas. Yeah. Okay.
The football team.
The football team. What football team?
Yeah.
There's a football.
that's what
You
that's
called
the
the
name.
football
It's
team.
The football team.
I got you.
Is there a football team called the football team?
At the
Yeah.
moment.
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
moment.
Donald Trump owns it. He couldn't think of a better name.
Donald
The
Trump-
football team.
What- the football team. Where are they? I
They
never.
were formerly the
Washington,
Redskins.
Washington.
Oh,
They changed
I-
the
They,
They're
they
former-
dropped the name Redskins.
Oh, damn it!
Now they're called the football team.
Yeah.
How original.
Yeah. Now the Cleveland Indians. Are they keeping the Cleveland Indians?
So far.
Yeah, I think
Now.
I think they wanted to get rid of the logo, but the logo is just basically a Indian brave. Oh, I'm going to sneeze.
I need a sign that says at you.
hmm
He sneezes so cute too.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I have the sissiest sneeze. It's horrible.
Little cat sneeze.
Huh? Yeah. Anyway. This is kind of an interesting question I have. They came out with the Academy Award nominees for this year.
Yes.
Anybody familiar with these?
Nope.
I didn't see them.
Well, this is what I want to find out is how many of you have heard of these? Okay.
I heard of the Academy Award.
And by the way, most of them you can see on cable, on your various apps.
Oh.
The Father.
No,
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Heard of it, haven't seen it. Anybody heard of it?
Oh.
No.
Okay, I have a screener of it here. I got through the Academy.
It's with Anthony Hopkins.
Yep. Yep. Here's one that was on cable. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Hmm.
Did you
Haven't
see,
seen
anybody
it
see
yet.
it?
No, but I hear it's
Racist.
good.
Yeah,
Racist.
it's good.
Based on a true story.
Mank.
what?
I saw it, slept through it. It's
You-
pretty boring.
What? I love Mank. I thought it was
Did you like the
terrific.
movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was it was late and I was a little drunk. Maybe I'll go back and check it again.
Although it was not 100% accurate. Minari. Anybody?
I haven't seen it.
I have a
Here
copy of
it
that sitting on my table here. Nomad Land. You can see that on
you.
Hulu. What?
Haven't-
Nobody. Wow.
From you.
Promising Young Woman. Good picture, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Sounds
is that
good.
porn?
No, it's
Yeah, really.
it's with what's her name? Trying to remember her name now.
Marla Maples?
No, but it's about a woman who you watch the film and you wonder what the hell's going on, and when it's over with, you suddenly realize what was going on, and you say, "Boy, that was a great movie." You know, it's one of those kind of things. While it's going on, you're wondering whether you're watching a good movie or not. The Sound of Metal. This is available on.
Yeah, that's about the drummer who goes deaf, the punk rock drummer
Yeah.
who goes deaf.
And Trial of the Chicago 7.
I saw
Anybody-
that.
This is on. That's on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting is Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Nomadland, Sound of Metal, and the Trial of the Chicago 7 are all on apps that you can have on your TV. All of these are made for cable, made for, made for services, movies, like for Netflix or for Amazon or whatever.
I like Robert's questions better.
Well, we don't want to go through all of them.
Don't get me in trouble with the host, huh?
Okay,
I bring him in to do that when there's nothing to talk about.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the
Hey,
Bill hit all the news already.
He's
Yeah.
a bad.
Hey, I subscribed to Paramount Plus last night. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And you know, a movie I found on there,
What?
Seconds. Have you ever seen Seconds?
Yeah, that's with Rock Hudson.
Yeah,
It was
great.
directed by
fucking
John
movie.
Frankenheimer. What?
Yeah.
I
What a
love that
great
movie. I always remembered that movie and loved it. It's a little dated, but it's good. It's really
It's
good.
a great movie. Fucking great.
By the way, the
Creepy as hell.
the actress I was thinking of was Carey Mulligan.
That's it. Yeah.
She's been
Oh,
nominated
yeah.
for Best Actress.
I have
And
no idea.
let's see here. Best Actor in a Leading Role. The nominees are Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
Good movie.
Chadwick Boseman.
Good movie.
Chadwick Boseman. And Chadwick Boseman. So I'm wondering who's going to win that.
Who can name the last?
You know why he's going to win? Because Hollywood is still white and racist, and they believe that the best kind of black person is a dead black person. So that's why they're going to vote for him.
Oh, whoa.
I'm leaving now. Good night, everybody.
Trivia
Yeah,
question.
really, good night.
Trivia question.
My son.
Academy Award trivia question.
What is it?
Who
There we
can
go.
name
Racist comment.
the other actor who won a Best Actor posthumously?
Posthumously. Best actor posthumously.
Posthumously.
A best actor?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't what's his name for playing the Joker in.
No.
I'm trying
Give you
to.
a clue.
Oh?
Clue. Network.
Oh, you mean?
Oh.
Yeah. The British actor. Finch? Peter
Howard
Finch?
Charles Bronson.
Peter Finch.
Peter Finch. Yeah. Really?
Howard Beale. Yeah.
Really? I didn't realize he was dead when he got that. See?
Yeah.
But Boseman
went
will
to
win
a
it this
movie
year because
once.
he's dead.
Yeah.
How can you beat that as a
Yeah.
publicity stunt? Yeah. So my face looks awfully red these days.
Yes, it does.
Well, you see, I think what it
You
is.
got to try a different color jacket.
No, it's my lights. See,
Oh.
look at this. Watch that. See?
Oh, that's much better.
You see?
Oh, you look
There
Oh,
sick.
you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
better
the
go lay
mortician
down.
did a nice job of the makeup now.
But
Hey, you're looking blue.
no, but
Oh, no. You look natural skin color now.
Oh, that's why I was so red, because see, if I go here and I go here, then that goes red. See, but anyway.
There you go.
But they don't look as bright here. They're not as bright in my eyes. But let's see here. So I think Chadwick Boseman's got it made. If he doesn't, he died for nothing.
I guess we're all going to have to find out who he is.
Chadwick Boseman? Oh, he's really a very good actor, believe it or not.
Great.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. I mean,
Only Black
Wherever
Panther.
Alan is, I'm trying to point to Alan, wherever he is.
eye roll.
Okay.
You need
that's-
the emojis. Charlie, you need the emojis. Just show the emojis. There you go.
Okay.
He's up against Sacha Baron. Let's see here. Who is he?
Sacha
up
Baron
against?
Cohen.
No, he's going up. Sacha Baron Cohen's up for Best Supporting Actor for playing a person I knew. And actually, when I saw him play the part, I thought I was going to hate him as Abby because I knew Abby, right?
Right.
And actually, I
did.
thought he did a very good job. He obviously studied the guy and what he was about.
He's got pretty good range. I mean, from that, to all the other stuff that he's doing, pretty good.
But his actress in what do you call it? What was it in the Borat movie? Mana Bakalova has been nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and I thought she
ordered that at a Greek restaurant once.
I thought she was terrific in that film.
Yeah, Giuliani should get special mention too.
Well, who was it? Was Sacha Baron Cohen at something where he wanted to thank his co-stars, Rudy Giuliani.
So I will assume that the first half hour was talked about the soon-to-be former governor of New York.
Nah, not really.
No politics.
No, we brought that up. We talked about that for a short time, and I just say that all these Democrats that are eating their own over this issue. I honestly believe that nobody is sworn to anything under oath. So these are all allegations and can't be taken as anything else.
Just like they did with the Supreme Court guy
that's a different story. He was going up for a very important job. I had to fight this out with Phil, right? He was going up for a very important job, and everybody in that case before that committee was sworn in, okay,
right.
And were under oath. None of these women are under oath right now, and how many of them will be willing to stand up under oath if something happens? Complete BS. You guys with your signs can go fuck yourself.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to make up some for tomorrow night's show.
There you go.
Which, by the way, I'm doing another interview with Will Durst.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Nice guy.
We checked
Alex,
with him.
You've said about Cuomo that he's I remember the exact words you used, but that he's difficult to work with and he's arrogant and he's the bully. Well, those are accusations too. Why are they true in your mind? And yet these women
I'm saying bear
it under oath and sign away their firstborn.
By reputation. Okay,
all right, but those are allegations, right? Why is he painted
I've got a
that
shadow
way
on my head right here. It looks like I've got
Jesus,
black and
Mary
blue
and
marks.
Joseph.
What? Anyway.
Why don't you check your fever?
Okay. No. What was your question again? There.
Well, you constantly call him a bully and arrogant and difficult.
No,
to
I'm
work
saying
with.
that people say he is. I didn't say he was. I say people say he is. I don't know him personally, so I don't know that he is a bully and that he isn't the sweetest, most wonderful guy in the whole world.
But you seem to hold to those allegations. Is my point.
Well, I'm willing to accept that he's not a pleasant person to deal with, but that's no reason to get rid of him.
But you're not willing to accept that this large number.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. He's the nicest guy in the world.
No. I'm not asking you to do that.
No, you beat me. You beat me into submission.
I'm pointing out that you're accepting one set of allegations, but in the other case, you want them to sign away their firstborn child. Second part is, what kind of proof do we expect there to be when a bully who's going to hit on a woman does so inappropriately? It's not as if he's going to do it in a crowd of 50.
Well, you're starting this too late because we just had the theme running here. And we can get to that tomorrow. There's a lot of time
tomorrow.
Time flies.
Time flies. By the way, Jeff, you had something quickly you wanted to say?
And we'll do it. We'll do it tomorrow.
For tomorrow is another day. Here at Terra. Okay, Robert, don't give me that 10-pound look.
I had fun yesterday on the early show.
The 4 o'clock show. Yeah, well, this one's
it was 1 o'clock here.
It's pretty pleasant too, Anyway, hey, listen, that's it. Get lost, everybody. Right. Come back again tomorrow, and then we can do it all over again, and I can repeat some stories I've told you 20 times before. So, it could be another good night. Everybody, Give yourself a big wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye at you. There they go. That's the listener. That's the citizens panel. That's what we call them. There'll be another one commencing on the intersection, which is next over most of this same station. It's on Skype, and you call Gabnet Live. Okay? That's it for tonight. See you again tomorrow night, same time. Oh, by the way, there's a sports show tomorrow night. Don't forget that. See you tomorrow night, 10:30. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, as I say, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, be safe out there. Wear a goddamn mask, will ya? Night, everybody.